Hi class, here for my third and final speech of the semester, my student choice speech. And to keep with the theme that I've gone with this semester, we're going to talk a little bit about the basics of wine tasting today. Now you remember we already learned the differences between red and white wine, and last week we talked a little bit why it's better to drink red as opposed to white wine. But today I'm going to go over just the basics of what to do and what to look for when evaluating a wine. Now, we can talk about two different settings, whether you've ordered a bottle of wine at a restaurant and they are serving it to you tableside, or whether you're actually tasting wine at a winery and they're showing you the different products that they've made. So, for starters, I've got an open bottle here of Sea Glass Pinot Noir. And you remember we talked last time a little bit about the American wines will have the grape right on there. So, Sea Glass Pinot Noir. And I also have, probably won't taste this one today, but I have a bottle of white wine from France, and if you remember we discussed sometimes they'll just have the region on there, and you'll see right on there it says Bordeaux as opposed to the grape. So this is the Bordeaux white wine, but that's just to show you what we talked about last week. But anyway, we're going to take our red. Now say you ordered a bottle of red and you've ordered this Sea Glass Pinot Noir in a restaurant and they bring it to you tableside. First thing the server is going to do is obviously open the cork, and they're going to hand you the cork. Okay, and I learned this in a class taught by wine specialist Liz Cazzera of Westport Rivers a couple weeks ago. They don't want you to actually smell it. It's not the idea behind giving you the cork is not to smell it. They're actually giving it to you to analyze the cork itself. You're looking for any mold that might be on the cork, or if there's like a slimy feel to the bottom, that might be a sign that the wine's gone bad. So once they've given you the cork, you've checked it out, it's satisfactory, they're going to give you a little pour. That's what we'll do here, okay? And I've chosen a nice big glass here, and there's a reason for that. I'll explain in a minute. But that's probably a little more than they'll actually pour for you. But now you're going to look at it. You're just going to visually analyze the wine. Now we know it's a red wine, obviously, because that's what we ordered. And I can tell by this, the color here alone, that this is a Pinot Noir, and that's just from tasting different Pinot Noirs. So after you look through the color, you're going to want to kind of hold it up to the light, and you're going to see if you can actually see through the wine, how well the light passes through the wine. Now we're checking for murkiness there, because if we see any murkiness in the wine, that's also a sign that it might be bad. So right now it just has a nice red color, and as you hold it up to the light, you can basically see right through it. Okay, so now it's satisfactory as far as color, and the cork looked good. So now next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to swirl the wine. Now, I don't recommend holding it up and swirling it around like this because, wine will be everywhere, all over your friends. No one likes that. I actually put it down on the hard surface and I just swirl like so. Okay, and we're swirling for a couple of reasons. But from the visual aspect, I'm looking for what they call the wine legs. Now, wine legs are the drops of wine after you swirl that actually come down the side of the glass. And they call them legs because as the drops come down, I guess they kind of look like legs. But as a note for the visual purposes, the higher the alcohol content, the faster and more legs there will be. It's hard to see, I know, on the screen, but you'll see it when you swirl your own. So that's basically the visual point. Now, we've also swirled it, and that's added some oxygen, and it's aerated the wine. So now that's going to bring out the smells of the wine, which is the next step. You want to smell the wine. Now, you can sometimes read on the bottle. They'll tell you what they think you will smell, but I find that everyone smells something a little different. Now, in this one in particular, I can just smell maybe some fruit flavors, stuff like that, like a raspberry flavor almost. I've heard people say crazy things like I smell the forest floor or creek rocks or something like that. But again, that's everyone has a different palate and they smell different things. So it's up to you to figure out what you smell. Now, after we've smelled it and looked at it, we're actually going to go ahead and take a taste, a small sip. So after you've taken the small sip, you're going to let it sit in your mouth before swallowing it. And again, you're going to figure out what flavors you come up with. And again, I kind of just taste like almost a raspberry fruit flavor in this wine. But everyone's different. And by going out and tasting, you're going to find out what it is that you like and what it is that you're looking for. So again, if you're 21, as we've said before, go out, explore, and enjoy. And now you know the basics of what to do and what to look for when tasting wine. Cheers, everyone.